Hey, NASDAQ, where you get the best dope? In the market's dope is information. Like, what's the dope in the wheat market? Egypt passed on 3 cargoes. I am your host, human technical analyst. I'm going to do an AI comparison on how I see AI. Why do you need all these server farms? Anyway, what are we looking at here? This is my main page here. We got silver top right, bottom right is gold. We got this listen, this is for trading, okay? If you are interested in getting, or you wanted to call me, or you just get a consultant and you're just like, say you got another job, you're making good dough, or you need a broker. This would be a tiny olive here, okay? So what do we got? What was this? 367.30. What was the high? Oh, this was 72. Yeah, look at that. Just go through there, and it's $5 through. Anyway, that is not. Listen, that would just be a trading. Here's silver. This is crude oil, top left-hand corner here. This is that was in the day session here, right here. What was it? Yesterday's low was 56.15. Remember, we went a quarter under that olive. Well, we took that out, and now we're right here. I don't know. This is getting to be less appealing. Let me put it on a daily right there. Okay. Oh, is that an outside down into an olive buy? That is sure is. Okay, outside down into an olive buy. Just, I don't know. If you're interested at all, I put out a market comment. We see that. We see that. And I have my thoughts on why and what that means. Here's beans here. These are beans, okay, this was last week. Okay, this was the Friday before here, and let me put it up a little bit more, like a 60-minute chart here. Yeah, look at that, same exact pattern here. What's this low right here? 26 and a quarter. Is that? What is that? Is that 26 and a quarter? 26 and a quarter. I'm looking at the screen is a little farther away. I got the 4 monitors, and this is on the top. So that's why it takes me just a touch. So we're over to powder blue. Here we got a trend line breakout, even though we have traded around here. In corn, okay. And so today is Monday. What's impressive about this, and it's not necessarily that, they're going to talk to China and that about the beans, is that we're into harvest, okay, and we didn't open lower, okay, because in the old days there'd be like, yeah, the commercials are taking 10 to 20% protection, which meant that they were giving the farmers 20 cents under what Friday's close was. Okay, so here we're getting Friday's close, and, all the things I just had a lot of guys that have been telling me that the yield's not there, the yield's not as good as what the USDA was saying, or the market was expecting. And now, all of a sudden, those guys are kind of out. They're flat. They're gone. Meaning, this rally could be for real. If, in fact, you wanted to fade somebody like that. You fade the... here we got just a little trend line here. We come back down here. This is at 19 in the goats. This brown one right here. Okay, here, let me... here, I'll give you the big picture. Okay, here it is. And we're going to have a nice big head and shoulders neckline over this area at 432, okay? So now that's only 8 cents away. As a matter of fact, we could go, we get over this, what is this high here? Man, this fucking Outlook, man. Outlook absolutely just blows. 24 and 3/4. Yeah, look at this. We're a penny away from this. Penny and a half puts us outside up. So, and then this was, as a matter of fact, this is a daily. So remember last week I had an intraday chart here. I'll show it to you in a second. Here, we'll go to it right now. Okay, see the 7 right there? Okay, and see on the way up here, okay, on the way up, we do this, we come back down here to 47,000 traded within a penny. And this was a shorter term chart here. So here you got an outside up bar here also. And you get kind of two selling bars here, you know, and you're dicking around here at Friday's settlement price. You get over it. Yeah, this thing is coming back here, man. I wouldn't sell corn now. So what I'm saying here is the so the farmers, and here, oh yeah, here's meal again here. So this is kind of a counter trend because this meal has been in a bear market. As a matter of fact, just last day, what was it? Oh, that was October 1st. So you had SEP 30, okay, so the end of the quarter, okay. Here's the end of the previous quarter, June, okay. Where's March? Here's March, okay. So we've been going down here. Oh, okay, here we go. Oh, this was last year. Yeah, okay. And then we got a big rally at the beginning of the year. Oh, yeah, that's right. Those guys never got filled. By the time I had some clients that wanted to sell that, we never got back here to test this. And then we were just going lower for the rest of the year. So, okay. Oh, actually, here, check this out here. This is in meal. Okay, so this would be a way that you would just, you know, when I send a meal chart, so you got two trend lines here, okay? You can see the horizontal one, which I don't know what that is. Doesn't matter, though, at 86.20, okay? It's something that got my trader eye, and then here's this other one at 85, 285.50. 285.80, top left-hand corner, is the high here. Okay, as a matter of fact, this red line here is the 50-day moving average. Okay, so this was one of the last times we kind of played here. This is what it was. Okay, you get over it, they buy it, and all of a sudden it gets back under, and the funds are just like, sell the piss out of it. You know, here's the same kind of thing, and you know, although, you know, what are we, probably 20% lower. So here we are in the, as a matter of fact, that thing has been going down. I don't even think we've had an uptick in the, that's indice meal. Okay. As a matter of fact, we could probably look at, here, you know what? Yeah, see, okay, that's the July Dece there. So that's like a new low, you know, but we did got a bounce, little bounce. What is it, minus $9, $2 bounce. This was the S&Ps here. This was the same kind. This is just exactly like this gold here. Very tiny, very minute. This would be like short term here. And this is a 60-minute chart. Okay, so I must have used it somewhere else, and I'm not so here we had it, the high for 2 hours, and then here we come back over it here. You know, so we, you know, I don't know. Nobody knows which way we're going to, you know, go here into year end or something like that. But here we are, right back up, kind of up by the highs. So there's corn. Here's wheat. Wheat's the weak sister here. We had the Aussies in the White House today. China, they're going to talk to China. You know, those are just some of the things here. We'll just take a gander here. Well, you know what? Here, hang on a second here. I want to just, you know, because this one, here's orange juice. Okay? Orange juice? Shit, I know that's thin. Orange juice? You mean like in that movie, Trading Places? Yes, yes. And so here, I just want to point this out here. So I had some olive lines coming down here, okay, kind of like in that crude oil, except these are longer. These are longer. And so here's, actually here, look at this here. We're up at 237, going down. This, as a matter of fact, here's the beginning of October. Okay, so we were just at 250, okay, so we're going down. We come down to 210. I got some areas here. We catch them, we get under them, we get back over them, okay. I'm not saying anything about anything, okay? These are just my levels in orange juice, and this is just happens to be the sequence of the levels, okay? So also meaning my charts have good shelf life. You know, it provided that the numbers are right, you know, and then you would just tell me, you know, you're like, hey, you know, you got some orange juice or something like that. And one guy was telling me about he wanted to buy some options because last year or something didn't, and the OJ rallied. So anyway, so here we come down here. We bounce off an olive here again, back under, okay. And then here, you know, you get one of these ball buster rallies. What is this? 190 to what? 198. Okay. And then we come down here. This morning, you can see some sevens in there. Can you see it? Where's this big volume? Is this the opening? 7 a.m. Okay, so here's a buyer, okay, that buys the olive line. You know, maybe it's Goldman or somebody like that, or their ilk. And then here, all of a sudden, boom, looked up. And what time was this? This is on the 20th at 8:24. Oh, okay, this must have been, oh no, this is on the 20th at 7. What is this, a 12-minute? Yes, it's a 12-minute. This is a 12-minute chart, okay? Okay, so then here you get, and in 2 bars, you go down to 180 and change. Call it 181. Okay. And here we come back up here. Level plays again one more time. Now here you are. And then here, these are the ones, these last ones right here. If you've been following any of my videos, you know, it's like one of those last ones, you take a shot. When everybody's like, holy shit, you know, I just blew whatever it is. 200, $2,000 on the last one, you know, and you can't do it anymore. And oops. And I'm going to give a shout out here. What is this, down 9 ticks? This is a Canadian dollar. Since I'm talking about the bottom feeder currencies, okay? The Australian dollar and the Canadian dollar, okay? You know, they just continue to devaluate their stuff and then sell their shit to the U.S. But anyway, so this was last week. We got down here. This is what I'm, okay, so if it's over here, this means it's at least longer term, okay? And there's the big olive, okay? That's the thick one, thin one, okay? This already played. We rallied back up to an orange, okay? And then we're dicking around, and now here we are making our way on the downside. So you got this old olive right down here under here. We missed it. So if you were looking to buy this, I think I'd stick it right in maybe a tick over this low. What is this low? 71.22 half. What is this low? 71.16 half. 5 ticks, you know, at that point. It's $50. And you got 2 of them right there. 71.20. What was this low? 22 half. Okay. You know, you just have 2 areas right there. And that's in the Canadian. You know, not saying to do it. And, okay, here. What's this? The euro kind of. What is this? 120 minute? Okay, here. So here will be the euro. Let's say we draw some kind of trend line right here. This will be a neckline here. Free trend line lesson. Okay. Okay, we'll draw from here to here. Here it catches. Okay. Here it hits stops. Okay. You get under and then it comes back. Okay. So now you're like, geez. Here you hold. Same kind of thing. Comes back. Here's kind of, you know. And all of a sudden, here you are. And if you've been playing that thing, well, although this would be, I think you'd be looking for to sell it, you know. And you know, I would imagine funds are selling this, and then all of a sudden they get it back up here, and then but anyway, so that'd be the euro currency. It looks like it's in, and this is British pound. British pound, you can see an olive up there at 137.64. That's a monthly chart. Oh yeah, here. And this is China. Okay, this is be the little olive sell here. This is where the U.S. did an emergency rate cut. When was this in? This was last year in September, a year ago. Okay, and then they crucify shorts. Actually, Miles Gow talked about this, who was a guest on Bannon before he was arrested and the FBI burned his $18.5 million New York condo, and he sits in jail till this day. So anyway, so here we're kind of failing. Well, we might be, you know, we got an olive line sell, okay? And just on the political front, he just took out like 9 of his military leaders. Okay, and I don't know history that well, but somebody said that was making an analogy that he could fall. President Xi in China, CCP, Chinese Communist Party, okay, so the communists. Okay, they lie, they cheat, they steal, and they back out of grain contracts, okay? Not intended for the diaspora, not intended for the good people of in La Beijing, which is like the middle class there. Okay, I'm not talking about the working class of Chinese. So, okay, I think hang on. You know, this one, I just want to talk, this is, here. So when you go limit down, okay, it tells you something, okay? And so when we rallied here today, we did open a little bit lower. And then we rallied back up here against the previous day's high, okay, because it was a gap lower, you know. That this was a sale. As a matter of fact, I just did the video this morning here on that, and then we broke in here. So here we're coming back here. Say, okay, you know what? If you're going to sell this, put a stop over here. 373 even is that high. Put a stop at 373.25. No dicking around. You're just playing that this is going to be okay. So then today's high was what, about 72.57. Okay, so it was about 40 cents under there. Okay, and then anyone's guess is right here. This level is, call it 372 round down. That's in feeder cattle. Nobody trades it. It's a thin market. We're going to call this a wrap. Let's do a trader rule, adage, or excuse. Where was it? Any market that is one way for 5 days up or 5 days down is giving you a warning sign. Okay? Alright, so if you need something, get a hold of me. ARP at NASDOG.com. Thanks for watching.